Well, I guess we got to define work. I am, I'm on the record that I think the fit is questionable. And we said this before the trade even happened. We were talking about potential Lakers offseason targets. Obviously, shooting was something the Lakers we thought would prioritize, and Russ does a lot of things really well on the basketball court. Shooting is not one of them. But I was at least mildly surprised by the almost universal panning of this trade. So I guess I think it'll work better than most people think it will work. So let's talk about the nuts and bolts of this. First of all, if LeBron and Anthony Davis make it to the playoffs healthy, the Lakers are massive favorites to win the West. And this helps LeBron and Anthony Davis make it to the playoffs healthy because Russ can win games for you by himself in the regular season. That's the first point. Second point is, the more minutes Anthony Davis plays at center, the better the Lakers are, and this will force Anthony Davis to play more minutes at center. So that's a positive. That's the second point. And the last point is, when we're talking about a trade, you've got to discuss what was given up. So what the Lakers gave up was Montrezl Harrell, who was going to leave for nothing, Kyle Kuzma, who I don't know if he accepted it, but I sent him a Venmo to help pay for his packing, and KCP, who's useful. They traded one useful rotation player for Russell Westbrook, and I like KCP. Russ is better. And so in all those regards, I think this is a net positive for the Lakers. And I like Buddy Hield as much as the next guy, Brandon, probably more than the next guy. But I would be a little nervous about Buddy because he's never played in a big game in the NBA. Never played in the playoffs, never been above 500. And as you are acutely aware, sometimes great regular season shooters are not great playoff shooters. And that would make me nervous if he were my big offseason move. So I think it works-ish for the Lakers, and I'm certainly higher on it than the vast majority of people.
I love you, buddy, and welcome back. We missed you all last week. We were rooting for you. We were cheering you on, and now you're back. But, hey, I'm not going to take it easy on you. Jenna didn't ask who won the trade. That's not what she asked. What Jenna asked was, will this work? And you spent 5 seconds talking about, oh, well, I'm on the record to saying that it may be a difficult, chemistry experiment, et cetera, whatever you said. And then you took 10 minutes, really 5 minutes, talking about everything else. Like Jenna didn't ask about the trade. You know this won't work. Can we get the honest Nick today? When we did this back in December, when James Harden left Houston to go to the Nets, everybody was up in arms. Oh, it's a chemistry experiment from whatever. It's not going to work. This is the same thing. There's no way this is going to work. I love LeBron James. I love AD and the right AD playing basketball, not the AD we saw last year. And I love Russell Westbrook. But those three guys together, there's no way this is going to work. You know they need shooters. You tell me right now who's going to be the guy that's sitting out there on the perimeter ready to bang down the three when they kick it out to him, whether it's LeBron or if it's Westbrook. And you're talking about AD.
Well, that guy's not on the team
Will
yet.
he want to play center? Okay, where's he coming from? Well,
Anthony Davis reportedly, when they were recruiting Russ, said he would play more center. But I guess we need to define what work means. I think the Lakers are the overwhelming favorites to make the finals. Now, as of right now, I think they are underdogs to the Bucks, the favorites to win the championship, the best team in the NBA with the best player in the NBA who did just win the title. But I do think that this trade makes it. If you're the Bucks, Wilds, are you more or less excited about playing the Lakers if it's KCP in their starting five or if it's Russ? Because if I'm the opposition, Russ at least is a headache, is a pain, and I don't think it can be overstated. The LeBron in year 19 that he can now take some games off or certainly some stretches off, and the offense won't go to die with Russ out there doing Russ things.
So how many games, so I'll just dig in on that before I give my answer. How many games do you want LeBron to play, or do you think LeBron is going to play? Because I've seen this storyline kind of bandied about that. Okay, so all right, then that doesn't seem like that much rest for him. Do you want his minutes to come down as well? And let him play
34 minutes a night, 72 games.
High. Okay, I thought you were high 20s, low 30s, and let Russ kind of run the offense, almost as like a sixth man, like a Lou Williams. So look, if that's the idea that Russ is kind of this version of an insurance policy, sure, I buy that. But come playoff time, does anyone feel really good about rolling out a AD who doesn't want to play 5? So I guess all of a sudden he's had a change of heart, although he hasn't wanted to play 5 in years. Russ, who is literally the worst three-point shooter. Only 6 guys were worse in the league last year, and he's the worst high-volume three-point shooter of all time. And an aging LeBron. I just don't know. So, Nick, I feel less enthusiastic about this trade. I still love Russ, but it makes more sense. The Buddy Hield trade made more sense. And the big question I have for you is this. Philosophically, when the Buddy Hield trade didn't work out, I understood what they were doing. It's all right, Buddy's is a 40% shooter in Sacramento. Yeah, so as much as you say the guy hasn't hit a big shot, all right, how good could he be if he's getting open looks because the defense is drawn to AD and LeBron? I actually think he would be better, not worse. But once that deal didn't work out, it feels like a total change in philosophy where they're not going after a shooter. They're going after Russ, who wants to drive to the rim and kind of create more spacing problems than answers.
Well, but it's not like the Buddy Hield deal fell through. They opted for this one instead. The Buddy Hield deal was there for the taking, and this was what they thought was better. But I want to ask Brandon a question. Brandon, so what do you think the Lakers' ceiling is then? What do you think the Lakers' ceiling is then? The second round like the Nets?
Oh, they have an opportunity.
What? What is it?
No. I'm glad you. Yeah. They have an opportunity to make it to the finals for sure, 100%. But yeah, I'm glad you brought them up.
About?
They're not doing this because of the Bucks. I mean, because it's about championships. That's what it's about. It's about winning. Okay. You know that. They can make it to the finals and lose. And, LeBron James and the Lakers are going to be judged more harshly. So all of this to beat the Nets, these guys only play. And we talked about this last week when you were on your little sabbatical. But all this. Yes, this isn't about the Bucks. This is about the Nets, and everybody know it. These guys only play 8 games together. You have James Harden, who have this little shaky hamstring. You have Kawhi Leonard, who goes on Kyrie Irving, who goes on these sabbaticals, right? Similar to what you just came off of. And then you have Kevin Durant, the little Twitter fingers. So all that to beat these guys, right? Come on, man. This ain't about the Bucks. Everybody knows who's the favorite to win the NBA Finals next year.
Well, to win the finals, you got to get to the finals, which is something the Nets struggled with last year. In fact, they couldn't even make the conference finals. The only finals they could make was the conference semifinals. So that's like playing not even in the bronze medal game. It's like playing in the 6th place game. But I'm glad here's what I don't want to have happen. Because I was here for the Lakers gave up too much for Anthony Davis. How are they going to be able to defend? LeBron's going to be in year 17. I was there for all of it. And then they win the title, and our dear friend Chris Broussard is like, super team. LeBron's only ever won with a super team. Of course they won. They're a super team. And now I'm here for, I really think I would have rather had Buddy Hield. And maybe who they were going to draft with the 22nd pick.
But and that's not the question.
I think the fit. No. Hold on. Right. And while right now the Bucks are my pick to repeat, I think the Lakers will be in the finals. And I wouldn't be shocked if the Lakers win the title. What I don't want to have happen is, once again, LeBron stack deck. You've got Russ. You've got Anthony Davis. How much help does he need? Because it's not going to work, right? They don't have shooting. Right. They're just scared of the 7th place NBA finishers last year, the Nets, and that's what it is. It's okay. Got it. We're locked in. I'm excited.
That's right.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.